Hey RT family, Ryan Reynolds here with Keller Williams Consultants Realty and your December 2023 real estate market update. So what's going on here in December of 2023? Well, we're going to talk about some of the same things we always talk about, which would be inventory, interest rates, and of course pricing, which is what everyone wants to know. The other thing we're going to talk about a little bit is historically where we are or have come from and where we might be going. And so I hope you stick around at the end of the video to hear all of that. So let's go ahead and start with inventory. So in terms of inventory, we have, again, we're talking about the number of homes on the market, and we have a little bit of an increasing amount of inventory. So what's been happening with interest rates climbing, which we're going to get into in a minute, inventory has really been growing and things have been sitting on the market. Some people are also saying that we're just returning to a normal seasonality where last few years has been all crazy from the pandemic still. But in traditional times, December would slow down, and in the last few years, it really didn't. So this could be an indicator that we're returning to a normal seasonality with real estate. Now, interestingly, if you look at last month, the end of October and the end of October of 2022, they were exactly the same number. And so I've never seen that happen, just thought I'd point it out. But this year compared to last year, our inventory is rising, and that's likely due to what we're going to talk about next, which is interest rates. So now let's talk about interest rates. And with interest rates, what we have here is good news for the first time in a long time. The interest rates peaked up at around 8 or 8.1%, and as of this week, they're down around 7.1%. And so we've come down probably a whole percent from the peak. And actually, better news is that as we look forward, what we're seeing is that the Federal Reserve is unlikely to raise interest rates anymore, and pretty likely to potentially lower them. In fact, I heard that there is a 61% chance that they're going to lower them a little bit, at least in March of 2024. So in any case, we have this declining interest rate market, which is going to be good for a lot of buyers, and it's going to be timed up potentially for spring. So what that will mean is probably that pricing, which we're going to talk about next, is probably going to go a little bit wacky this spring. It could be similar to what we've seen in the past. So now let's talk about pricing. So with pricing, what everybody wants to know is how much is my house worth more than it was worth last year or less? And the good news again here is it's up 5.9% compared to December of 2022. So actually that's the end of November 2022. So what does that mean? Well, it means that despite all of the national news with things going to be doom and gloom, pricing has come up. Interestingly enough, if we look at the volume of homes that have sold nationally, this is probably going to be one of the lowest years in terms of volume of homes, like the number of houses that have sold in a really long time. If you look at 2021, we were at around 6.1 or 6.2 million homes that sold nationally. In 2022, we were right around 5 million homes that was sold nationally, and that's pretty much the average. And this year, we're probably going to be below 4 million homes nationally. Now, that doesn't necessarily translate to our market here. We've actually had a pretty good year, but nationally, the volume of homes that has been quite a bit down. And so the national news is painting a picture that real estate's in a bad place, whereas locally we're not like that at all. In fact, this might be one of the best times to buy a house in the next probably 10 years, because with the Intel project and the Honda projects that they're working on and all the other development we seem to hear about every other day, I think that our real estate market is going to be really appreciating quite a bit. So 5.9 was the average this month over last year this month. I would expect us to be in the 5 to 7% range, and I've even heard as high as 11% when I've gone to some presentations talking about the Intel project and all the development that's going on. But even if it's only 5 or 6%, that's still great, because the national average over history is right around 4%. And so the answer to your question, how much is my house worth? About 6% more than it was last year. So good news, and hopefully it'll keep going on that track. So that's all I have for you this month here at Keller Williams. Wishing you a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and a Happy New Year. And we'll hope to see you in the new year. As always, it's the Ryan Reynolds team, unlimited opportunities and exceptional experiences.